Hello, Mike Colson here from Medicare Insurance Counselors. This video's topic is Medicare Part B. Part B is the medical portion of your insurance. It includes things like doctor, surgery, x-rays, lab, ambulance, outpatient services at a hospital, preventive services, therapy, and things along this line. What Medicare does here is you have a $147 annual deductible. I'm going to suggest to you that that is a very, very small and a very, very reasonable deductible. It's very common today for people to have $2,000 deductibles on their medical insurance. $5,000 deductibles are also common, and even some people have as much as $10,000 for their major medical insurance deductible. So Medicare at $147, and considering that it's an annual deductible, it's only payable once a year, I'm going to suggest to you that that is very, very good and very reasonable. Now, once the deductible is paid by somebody, you or your insurance, there's an 80-20 split. 80% paid by Medicare and 20% paid by you or your insurance. Now, I'm going to suggest to you that that 20% is actually substantially less than it appears. And I want to help you to understand why. There's this thing that we refer to as excess expenses when it comes to Part B. And excess expense is just the difference between a provider's regular bill. A provider is just like a doctor or the lab, any medical provider. So it's the difference between their regular bill and the amount Medicare approves. Now, Medicare has very, very successfully twisted the arms of the various medical providers to accept their fee schedule as payment in full. That means that excess charge, the amount above what Medicare approves, is written off by the provider. That means Medicare doesn't pay it, you don't pay it, your insurance doesn't pay it, nobody pays it. It's written off by the provider. Now, I'm going to give you 4 very, very specific examples. These examples, I didn't have to go very far to find them. They are just, all 4 of them, very, very common things that happen with Medicare Part B. So let me share with you what happens with these claims, and I'm confident as I go through these claims you're going to get my point very easily and very quickly. The first one I picked is just a visit, a doctor visit to a specialist. And by the way, for the sake of these 4 claims, I'm just going to use round numbers. I just want to give you the general concept. So I'm not going to dicker with the exact amounts. I'm just going to give you the ballpark numbers. So the first one is a specialist doctor visit. His billed amount was $214. That's the amount he normally charges. Medicare in this claim came along and approved a little under $109. They paid 80% of that lesser amount, which was a little over $87. That left just about $22 for the patient to pay. That was the patient responsibility. So on a $214 bill, the Medicare write-down was almost 50%. The excess expense was almost 50%. So when you think about your 20%, remember it's 20% of the lesser approved amount. Now the next claim I'm going to discuss is a surgical procedure, cataract surgery. This surgeon's fee was $2,506. Medicare approved $971. So on a $2,500 bill, Medicare approved only $971. That means the Medicare write-down, the excess expense write-down, was just about 60%. Medicare paid 80% of that $971. They actually paid the provider $777. The 20% co-insurance that the patient incurred was $194 on a $2,500 bill, if you see my point. So the amount of the Medicare write-down is actually quite substantial in this case, and let's go on to the next example. Example 3 is the anesthesiologist for that same cataract surgery. The anesthetist's bill was $680. Medicare comes along and approves a little over $175 on a $680 bill. The write-down is 75%. Now, of that substantially lesser amount, $175, Medicare paid 80%, or $140. That left the patient responsibility of only $35 on a $680 bill. I'm confident you're getting my point here. Now, the last and fourth claim I'm going to give you is an emergency room visit. The billed amount was $1,195. Listen to this. The Medicare approved amount, $169. The write-down was 85%. The excess expense was 85% that nobody paid. Medicare didn't pay it, the patient didn't pay it, the insurance didn't pay it, the provider, in this case the hospital, they simply wrote it off. So the 20%, the Medicare 80% comes to $135. The patient's responsibility is right at $34 on almost a $1,200 bill. So I hope you can see from these examples that the Medicare fee schedule dramatically knocks the bill down. There are a small number of providers that do bill some of these excess expenses. So there's a term that is used at the provider's office. Does the provider accept Medicare assignment? As soon as you might know that the provider, doctor, whoever, the x-ray company, any medical provider, as soon as you know that they accept assignment, what that means is they accept the Medicare fee schedule. They accept the Medicare approved amount as payment in full. So I'm going to suggest to you that this 80-20 split is actually incredibly good because of the size of the write-downs that the providers accept. And for that reason, then, it makes your share of the bill very, very reasonable and very, very small. Let me share with you still another thing that is connected to this. I want to make sure that you understand. People say to me, Mike, I might have a $100,000 hospital bill. I got to pay 20% of that if I don't have any insurance. That's not true. If you may have watched the first video in this series, that discussed Part A inpatient care. The 80-20 split does not apply for Part A expenses. In fact, it has nothing to do with anything under Part A. So if you have an inpatient hospital stay, forget that 80-20 split. It doesn't apply. It only applies for the Part B providers, like I was already telling you, doctor, lab, x-ray, preventive services, and other things of that nature, things that are received on an outpatient basis. So I hope this has helped your understanding of how Part B of Medicare works, and I want to thank you for joining us in this video. All of this is explained in more detail in my ebook. The name of the book is Imagine Understanding Your Medicare Insurance Options. It is available in the Amazon Kindle bookstore, and it retails for $4.99. If you already have a copy, that's great. You can look up Chapter 2, and all of this is explained in more detail. If you don't have the book, maybe you'd like to get a copy. Thanks for joining us.